Hello, my name is Tim Arrington. I work for Infinity Lead Generations, a small web design, SEO, internet marketing service. We usually work with small local companies to help them increase sales, generate more revenue for their companies. I came across Action Plumbing website accidentally a couple of weeks ago when I was in Macon with my wife on some business. And so I saw a couple of things and I decided to make a quick video for the owner of Action Plumbing because there's a few things that need to be addressed. So let me get right to it. First off, let me apologize. I am not a public speaker. I'm a website designer, website marketer. I do not read a script. I am doing all this off the cuff, so I may stumble over a few words. I may cough a little bit. I may misread a couple of things on my screen. So please forgive me. But I get really excited when I do this. So let's get right to it. So you're in Macon, Georgia. If I was new to Macon and I just purchased a home or whatever, and the pipe in the bathroom burst in between the wall or something, and all this water leaking out, I rush outside, turn off the water to the house, but now I have a problem. First thing I do is, like most Americans, I go to Google. I Google plumbing services. Now, of course, since I'm in Macon, I wouldn't have to type in Macon, but right now I'm not in Macon. I'm in Ellenwood, Georgia. So I typed in Macon so the results can show your results. And here's what will pop up if I typed it in. Voila. Right here at the top of Google on most searches, you get this thing as a map listing. We call this 3-pack in my business. The 3-pack is awesome. This is prime time real estate. Spot number 1. Mr. Buzzle Plumbing, Heating, and AC. If I didn't know anything about plumbing or heating and AC, I think this guy must be very important because he's the first guy that Google gave me. Not realizing that the reason that he's on there is because it's things that he's done with his website behind the scenes with his SEO service that's driven him to the top spot with the algorithms that Google uses to determine who's going to be where as they list their websites. So me not knowing any better, I'm going with one of these guys probably because they look like they're pretty important, you know, because they're at the top of the page. They must be important, even though that's not necessarily true. When you come down here to the next section beneath the map section, we call this area the organic listings. Once again, I see more listings. Now here's the interesting part. I see Home Advisor, something from the Better Business Bureau, Yellow Pages, Angie's List is down here. Now all those things are national organizations. So they're like national listings, even though it's for Macon, but the Yellow Pages themselves is a national company. And so the one thing about Google is they actually prefer to put in things like Ricky Heath's Plumbing or this plumbingmacon.com. Google actually wants to promote local businesses when someone does a local search. Reason being, if Google can provide the best results for a search, they assume that the customers will come back and use Google again for their next search. And they must be doing a pretty good job because they're number one in the world. So Google has a pretty good grasp on how to do this. What we do at Infinity Lead Generations is we help design websites, and those who do have websites, as we analyze them, we can help make adjustments or changes to help drive them to one of these pages. So I did my search in Macon. You weren't listed in the map section. As I moved down to the organic section, you weren't listed there either. So let's just say I go to page 2, which is a rarity. Most people don't, but let's just say I go to page 2. Page 2 comes up. I start searching some more. I see Woodall, West Plumbing. Some of these guys you may know since you're all in the plumbing business, and there you are. The middle of page 2, Action Plumbing. Well, like I said, the only problem is that 9 out of 10 people, probably a higher number than 9 out of 10, more like 96% of the people, will find a plumber on page 1. They'll never make it to page 2. By the time they get to page 2, they've already halfway lost interest. You know, they're just looking for a plumber and somebody to come and solve their problem. And I can almost guarantee you, if they call one of the 7 to 10 plumbers on page 1, one of those guys will be able to resolve their issue. And that's money that went into their pocket, into their business coffers, that did not go into the coffers of Action Plumbing, which helps support you and your family. So let's check out your website. Let's see why you're on page 2. So I took a look at it. I got to tell you, it's a little water GIF right there. I like it. I see you got your own motto, your own diagram for your company. I like it. That's good. I suppose that's a picture of you, Mr. George Munchin. Okay, I'm trying to say it right. Please forgive me. Probably mispronounced it. I probably jacked it all up. But anyway, back to the important things. Look at your website. Right here, I'm looking at your content. Very little content. It's pretty, but you're not really saying much about plumbing on your website. What Google looks for, the number one thing they look for is authoritative content. That is the number one thing. That's the most important thing anybody can have for their website. You can have 0 pictures, 0 GIFs, you have 0 all that. They're looking for what is the content on your website, because they want to provide the people that are searching for plumbers with the best possible content. Therefore, they're going to come back to Google, do the next search. So Google uses the algorithm. They read all of your website, see how important your language is down in here. The more important it is, the easier it is to put you up toward number 1, because they want to put you in front of the customer. That's what we want to do. We want to get your website with your content to be authoritative and definitely more in depth, so that Google wants to take your website that you've already paid for, that's already sitting here on the web, and push it to number 1. Free marketing. They just want to push it out there for the customers for you. That's what they actually want to do. So I see that you don't have the authoritative content. You want an idea of authoritative content? Next time you get an opportunity, go to Google, type in Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. You want to see that the results come up, and probably one of the number 1 or number 2 results will be Wikipedia. When you click on that link and you see how much information that they have about whatever it is that you decided to search for, you will understand what I mean by authoritative content. So that's what we do. Come to your next page about us. Once again, not a whole lot of information there. Services, not a whole lot of information there. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's direct and to the point. I see what you do. But unfortunately, Google doesn't want you to be necessarily direct and to the point. That's the thing about them. They want you to drag it out as much as possible. Something else I noticed is that you don't have what we call citations. It's hard to listen. You don't have a NAP, name, address, phone number that we talk about that needs to be placed onto your page. There's a lot of things that you're missing. Citations is also probably the number 2 thing that Google looks at. A citation is like giving your company a shout out on the internet from someplace other than your own website. So every time that Google can see that, oh, Action Plumbing has been listed over here, oh, Action Plumbing has been listed over there, the more places they see it, the more important that they figure you are, because you're out there so much. And so once again, that's more energy and fuel to boost you to page 1 up to the top, and hopefully even get you into the map section of Google. I used one of the tools we have called WhiteSpark. I did a citation finder to see how many citations Action Plumbing had. As you see, I did some searches on some other companies. This guy right here, Jack's Cleaning, he got 138 citations, not bad. Oglethorpe Dental, he got 142 citations, not too bad. Now Lewis's Medical Service, they kind of on the low end. But Action Plumbing, you're not even on the map. You have 0 citations. Now here's the deal. Mr. George. I'm not even going to pronounce your last name. I'm just going to call you George. I can't tell you a thing about plumbing. If you start talking about plumbing and all the stuff that goes into it, you're going to watch my eyes cross. You're going to watch them haze over and drool start coming out of my mouth, because I'm not going to know what the heck you're talking about. As I'm talking about these websites, because this is exactly what I do, your eyes are going to start hazing over and you're going to start drooling out your mouth, because it's like, what the heck is this guy talking about? So I'm not going to bore you too much with all these details. All I'm telling you is there are a lot of things that's missing on your website. Even though your website is, relatively pleasing to the eye. I like the colors, watercolors. And once again, I really like this water right here. That's really good looking, high definition. But for what your website needs to be on page 1, it's just not all the way there yet. And so that's why I made this little video, to let you know that you being on page 2 is costing you and your family money. That's just the bottom line. You being on page 2 is money that you lose every day, because the people that are looking for plumbers that don't know you, they're selecting one of the guys on page 1. I can almost guarantee it. You can pull it up if you want. You'll see for yourself. You'll see for yourself. You do the research yourself. Go to Google and you'll see how many people go to page 2 compared to page 1. Just Google it. It'll bring up something. Anyway, if you're interested, give me a call back. My information is on the email. I have my website on the email. You can check that out as well. Give me a call at 404-790-3369 if you're interested. If not, get with your own SEO guy. Tell him to take a look at your website, see what he says. But nevertheless, you need to do some work on your website to get you to page 1. I'd love to do it, but if not me, somebody else. Just get it done. Because like I said, your family is losing money every day. Hope to hear from you soon.